Hi, I'm Torstein from Cinema Terror, and as with my previous reviews as of late, I have another new horror movie review of a film that I recently saw at the awesome horror film festival called Ramaskrik here in Norway. The film I'm going to talk about in this video is a new Canadian supernatural horror film called Stillborn by Brandon Christensen. Stillborn tells the story of Mary, a young housewife who both had the best day of her life and worst day as she gave birth to two twin boys, with sadly only one of them surviving, and the other being, as the title implies, stillborn. This emotional experience of course affects Mary and her husband Jack greatly, and they have to try to cope with the loss of one of their childs while still trying to adapt to their new life as first-time parents. When strange things are starting to happen around their surviving baby, however, Mary starts to become obsessed with the idea that an evil entity is present in their house and is out to take their baby away from them. And with that you have Paranormal Activity: Insidious Baby, a film that suits perfectly within all the other supernatural films that have been dominating the genre for the last 10 years. Although I do enjoy these type of movies myself, I must admit that I have become a bit tired of them if you look past the most popular ones like Insidious and Conjuring films, and so Stillborn does feel like it came a bit late to the party. If this was released 5 years ago, then I'm sure it would be able to do quite well for itself. While today I believe that the film will be overlooked, and I think that horror fans as a whole are also becoming a bit tired of these films and want something new by now. That's not to say that Stillborn is bad by any means though, as this is not a bad film, it's just not a great film either. A film like this has to deliver when it comes to the atmosphere and scare, and while it did have an early effective jump scare, it never becomes as creepy as I was hoping it would be. Some of that has to do with the main focus of the film being put on Mary and her failing to cope with the loss of her baby. The film tries to make us guessing if what we are seeing is actual supernatural events or if it's just all in her head. I could not get that much engaged in the Mary character, as even though we spend most of the running time with her, we don't get actually enough character traits to make me care for her. She's a young mother who has been through a traumatic experience and feel like no one believes her, even to the point where she is second guessing herself, but that's pretty much everything we get to know about the character. They could have used like 10 or more minutes at the start of the film to let us get to know the character and give some life into the relationship between her and Jack, instead of jumping right into the birth scene, as the movie pretty much stand and fall on how invested you become in her character. Oh, and having her do several idiotic choices during the film didn't help either. The focus on her leaves little time being spent on the supernatural entity of the movie, which I found to be much more interesting. I would rather have them go full on with this idea instead of having is it real or not aspect to it. Although I must say that the scenes where we get a good look at the thing, it kinda looks a bit ridiculous. The scenes where the video is more muddled due to it being shown through stuff like webcam in the baby's room was much more effective and actually scary. Stillborn started out promising and did have a few effective scenes, but ended up being a bit too predictable with little new to offer to the oversaturated supernatural table of horror films. It kinda wants to tackle adult subject matters, but ends up being a film that will be mostly scary for the younger audience. If you enjoy movies with the spooky shit happening in a big house, then this is made specifically for you and you might want to give it a chance. If not, then there are plenty of better things out there to watch. Stillborn is a good viewing experience, but not something I would want to revisit or probably remember much about if I fast forward a few years from now. Stillborn gets a respectable score of 3 out of 5. Anyone else been able to see this Canadian horror film yet? If so, what did you think of it? And are the horror genre switching away from these types of movies now? Judging by what I've been watching on the festival market, it seems like we're about to see a shift in the genre, and perhaps that's needed now. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below, like, subscribe and all of that stuff, and just to let you know, I do have a Patreon site, so you know, if you like my videos, you have an option to support the channel through that page. Hope you'll stick around for my future videos, and of course, thank you for watching.